All right, let's get right into it. Something huge is happening right now, whether we see it or not. In courtrooms, in governments, and deep inside the code that runs our world, the rule book for our digital lives is being completely rewritten. And guess who's holding the pen? AI. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down what's really at stake and take a hard look at the blueprint for what comes next. So, let's just start with this. It's a pretty stark warning, right? And look, this isn't from some sci-fi movie. This is a quote from an open letter signed by the absolute pioneers of AI. We're talking about the very people who created this stuff. This really sets the stage, doesn't it? The stakes couldn't be higher. We're not just talking about cool new apps. We're talking about a technology that its own creators are warning could be an existential threat. And if you think this is all some distant future problem, think again. 14 million. That's not a projection. That's the number of jobs already lost to AI across the globe by early 2025. This disruption isn't coming, it's already here. It's affecting millions of people right now and forcing all of us to face a brand new economic reality today. Okay, Section 1, the unstoppable transformation. Let's talk about the incredible speed of all this change. Because honestly, when you grasp the pace, you'll see why having a plan, some kind of governance, isn't just a nice to have. It's absolutely essential. Just look at this projected timeline. It is wild. By 2026, that's just around the corner, AI personal advisors could be a part of everyday life for everyone. Then, by 2027, the internet could be just teeming with autonomous agents. AIs doing their own thing. And then, get this, by 2029, machines could be doing almost all productive work. Now, whether you think that sounds like a utopia or a total nightmare, the main point here is the incredible breakneck speed of this change. And this chart really drives home who's feeling the impact right now. We're not just talking about factory jobs anymore. Look at the top of the list: administrative support, customer service. These are white-collar, office jobs. This is a massive, fundamental shift in what the job market even looks like. So that brings us to the next big question. Section 2, governed by private code. It's really a battle, isn't it? A battle between democratic law and corporate terms of service. So who's actually making the rules we live by online? And this lays it out perfectly. I mean, look at the difference. On the left, you've got the rights we all expect in a democracy, right? The rule of law, due process, the right to appeal. But on the right, that's the reality for most of our digital lives. It's all governed by terms of service. Your right to appeal is often just an automated moderation bot, or you're forced into arbitration. It's like we've drifted from the world of public law into this new zone of, corporate rule. Which brings us to this really important idea: structural coercion. I mean, come on, we've all done it. You just click I agree without reading a single word. But is that really a choice? When you have to accept invasive terms just to apply for a job or to use a service you need to get by, is it really voluntary? The answer is not really. It's practically impossible to say no. But okay, it's not all doom and gloom. People are fighting back, which brings us to our next section, the fight for digital rights. We're going to see how the law is basically in a race to catch up with code. So if you look at the world stage, it's kind of messy. The US has this patchwork of different state laws. China's got its own top-down national strategy. But then you have the EU with its big, comprehensive AI Act. And that's setting such a high standard that it's basically becoming the global benchmark. Companies around the world are now building their tech to meet Europe's rules first. And it's not just about writing new laws. The courts are finally stepping up in a huge way. These cases from 2025 are absolute game changers. We're talking about copyright getting a total rethink for AI. We're seeing AI companies finally being held responsible when their tools discriminate, and huge payouts for misusing our biometric data, our faces. The message from the courts is loud and clear. The Wild West era is over. AI has to play by the rules now. And this is where things get really personal. I mean, it sounds like something out of science fiction, but it's happening. As tech starts to connect directly with our brains, this whole new area of human rights is popping up. Neuro rights, the right to keep your thoughts private, the right to your own mind. We're actually seeing laws being worked on right now in places like California and Colorado to protect our very thoughts from being mined and manipulated. It's a whole new frontier. Okay, so we've seen the problem, it's massive. Now let's talk solutions. Section 4, a blueprint for the future. This isn't about hitting the brakes on technology. It's about building a smart framework so that this tech actually works for people, not the other way around. And the solution here isn't just one magic law that fixes everything. It's more like a layered defense, a whole architecture. As you can see, it requires everyone to get involved. You've got global treaties at the top, then national laws for things like worker protection, right down to your local community having a say, and even grassroots campaigns for things like data unions. It's a top-to-bottom approach. And some of the ideas inside this blueprint are really interesting. I mean, imagine this, an AI dividend fund, a system where the massive profits from all this automation get shared with everybody, like a universal basic income. Or how about data unions, where we could band together to demand payment for how companies use our data? These are big ideas, for sure, but they're all about democratizing this revolution and making sure everyone gets a piece of the pie. Which really brings us to the final and most important part, our choice, our future. Because here's the thing, none of this is inevitable. The future isn't written yet. This is not something that's just gonna happen to us. The kind of relationship we have with AI will come down to the choices we make, right here, right now. And this slide really puts that choice in black and white. We're at a fork in the road. Down one path, if we do nothing, we could be looking at a deeply divided society where truth itself falls apart and inequality just explodes. But the other path, the one built on that blueprint we talked about, that's a path towards shared prosperity, human dignity, and a world where we can actually trust our tools. The choice is pretty stark. And I think this quote just nails it. This is not a spectator century. That's the key takeaway. A good future, one where AI actually helps humanity, isn't just going to happen on its own. It has to be built. It has to be fought for in courtrooms. It has to be engineered into the very systems we create. It means all of us, the builders, the lawyers, the users, we all have a role to play. We can't just sit on the sidelines. So that leaves us with the one big question we all need to be asking ourselves as this new world takes shape. The rulebook is being rewritten for everyone. The question is, who do we want holding the pen?